Hey guys, I'm back, and I'm Alina. I'm a grateful recovering addict with 396 days sober today, and I wanted to make a quick video about the 5 times that I went into septic shock. I should have spoken about it in my, the whole review of my story, but of course I forgot, even though it's super important and definitely a big part of my story, so here we go. I'm reading it off the thing, so it might look like I'm not paying attention, but I am. Okay, so the first time I had really bad pain in my stomach, and I was lying under an overpass in Spokane in a sleeping bag, and I was just screaming, and then until somebody called the ambulance, and then the ambulance showed up and took me to the hospital, and I was there for 2 weeks, and they kept me on Dilaudid drip for 5 days, and then gave me, methadone so I wouldn't get sick while I was going through treatment. I had to be on a bed alarm because I couldn't walk or anything. They even gave me fentanyl on the way there. It was so bad. You know when they give an opiate addict opiates, you know it's bad. So I stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks, and when they released me, I never took the antibiotics they gave me, so, of course it came back in 2 months. The second time, I had lost all control of my bowels, and was, literally shitting myself, and had incontinence. I couldn't hold any of that stuff, and I had a fever. I thought I was dope sick, so I just kept doing more and more and more heroin, because I was like, I gotta not be sick, but it was not dope sickness, obviously. My friend let me stay in his hotel room, because I was so sick, and I woke up in the middle of the night after I had peed the bed. So embarrassing. I woke up with a fever, and I knew something was wrong, so I made him give me some of his clothes since I peed in mine. I left the hotel because if I would have called 911 and they came to the hotel, he would have lost his room. So I started walking down the road and called 911, and I literally passed out right there on the side of the road. They found me on the side of the road. I was not gonna live. If they would have been a few minutes later, I probably would have died. It's the same story. 2 weeks, I didn't take the antibiotics, so it came back 2 months later. The third time, I don't remember how I got to the hospital, why I went to the hospital, and none of that. But I do remember that they kicked me out because I got caught doing heroin in the bathroom. And they were like, you were doing heroin in the bathroom, we could smell it. And I was like, no, I wasn't. And I wasn't even I don't think I was using needles yet. They kicked me out. And of course, they kicked me out with no antibiotics because they just kicked me out, and it came back 2 months later. Each of these times, obviously, I was on a bed alarm because I couldn't walk without falling. And this fourth time I was there for the whole 2 weeks, and when my dealer picked me up, I tried doing a shot immediately once we got into the car, and it took me 2 hours. I couldn't even hit. I was so sick still. I, again, didn't take the antibiotics that they sent me home with, so it came back in 2 months. The last time I went septic was after I moved to Portland, and I stayed the whole 2 weeks, and they kept me on methadone so I wouldn't be sick. And I took a few days worth of the antibiotics, probably 5 days worth of the antibiotics. They were 10-day antibiotics, and it hasn't came back. This all started because the drug dealer that I was sleeping with for drugs gave me gonorrhea, and I had an IUD at the time. And basically, when you get an STD, when you have an IUD, it goes up the IUD string into your intestines and throughout your bloodstream. So it goes from a STD to sepsis. My blood turned to poison. I've lost a couple of friends to sepsis. It only has a 50% survival rate, and I'm very lucky to have made it through 5 times. This was all caused 100% by my lack of self-care and active addiction, because I did not give a single fuck. Yeah, but that's my little story on why I went septic.